My name is Aditya, and I'm a software developer at IBM ISL. Today, I'm going to be showing you how you can monitor your Postgres database using Instana. As you already might know, Postgres is one of the most widely used open source SQL databases. Instana is an APM tool which stands for Application Performance Monitoring, meaning it helps us to monitor enterprise applications, including Postgres, to ensure it runs optimally. Whether you are managing a small startup or a large enterprise ecosystem, Instana has got your back. Let's dive deeper into witnessing how Instana is so awesome. So this is the agenda for today. First, I'll show you Instana's architecture for monitoring Postgres. Then, I'll show you how we can configure the Instana agent to monitor the Postgres database. After that, we can go through the documentation walkthrough, and then we'll finally see how the metrics are displayed on the UI. So, let's quickly have a look through Instana's architecture for monitoring Postgres. As you can see in this diagram, the Postgres database and the Instana agent are both under a single host, which means that Instana provides local monitoring for monitoring the Postgres database. The Instana agent auto-discovers the locally running Postgres processes on the host machine. After that, the sensor collects the data from the database and sends it over to the agent, which further packages all the data and sends it over to the backend. For Instana to be able to monitor the locally running Postgres instance, it needs to be able to connect to that instance. The username and password for that particular instance can be provided in the configuration.yaml file, which can be found in the etc Instana folder. So, let's go through the documentation to get a better idea on how Instana collects all the Postgres metrics and displays them on the UI. The Postgres sensor comes bundled with the agent. The sensor is automatically deployed and installed after you install the Instana agent. The Postgres sensor supports all operating systems that are capable of running the Instana agent. Linux, Windows, Tanzu, OpenShift, and Docker are to name a few. So the information regarding the supported operating systems, the supported versions, and the supported client-side tracing technologies are all listed here. So let's move to the configuration part. For Instana to be able to collect metrics, the following parameters must be set to on in the postgres.conf file, which is created at the time of configuring Postgres. So these are the three parameters that must be set to on, namely the track activities, the track counts, and the track input timing in the postgres.conf file. Creating a monitoring user. So for the agent to be able to connect metrics for a specific user, the permission select on needs to be granted to the pgstat database, as you can see here. The agent spawns the sensor, which is further responsible for connecting to the local running instance of the PostgreSQL database. The credentials required to connect to the database are mentioned in the configuration.yaml file, which can be found in the etc Instana folder. So in the Instana folder, we must give the credentials, the username, the password of the local running instance of the database here, so that the Instana agent may be able to connect to that database. Also, it is worth noting that the user must be assigned to the connect privilege for all the databases that are present within the PostgreSQL instance. This command shows us exactly how we can do that, which is the grant connect. So I'll be showing you a local running instance of Postgres on my Mac. We have the following databases, which are Aditya, Postgres, and template1. And I'll be showing you how you can monitor these databases on your Mac. So I have configured the credentials in the configuration file, and I have turned on the agent. So let's go and check how Instana can be used to monitor these databases. So in the Instana UI, I will first go to agents, and I see my MacBook Pro is the first one listed, which has my Postgres instance running here. I'll go to the host, and in the host, I see some Postgres processes running. So in the metrics collection part, we can see in the UI, there's some configuration data related to the process ID, start name, port, version, role, max connections, which we can see towards the left-hand side of the screen. Moreover, in the performance metrics, we can see the total committed transactions, total active connections, and the connection usage, which also we can see here, committed transactions, total connections, and the connection usage. In the databases part, we see all these columns, the cache hit ratio, standby conflicts, committed transactions, database size, active connections, which we can see here. And if we expand one particular database, we could see all the data related to transactions, cache, tuples, conflicts, database size, connections, etc. Now, as we can see here, there is currently no active connections for the database Aditya. So let me create one active connection and see how it affects the UI. So I'll double click on this to create a running instance of Postgres, and now we should be able to see it reflect in the active connections very soon. Yeah, as you can see, the tuples returns, the tuples fetched, the active connections, they all have changed. Now, if I close one of them, the same one, I should see it go back to 0. There we go. The Postgres sensor supports built-in events, which help in generating alerts in case of any collected metric anomalies, which allow you to plan ahead in case of any irregularities in the collected metrics. I hope this session proved to be beneficial for you in understanding how Instana monitors Postgres. That's all from my side, and thank you for your time.